Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube video. My name is May. This is the start of my Makeup 101 series. Now, I was watching Patrick Starr's Blending 101 video, and I had also read an article on how the beauty world was going on a decline because less people were posting basic makeup tutorials and more over-the-top makeup tutorials. So I thought I would go ahead and film something inspired by those two things, the video and the article, and do a Makeup 101 series. And this is something I would have enjoyed when I was getting started with makeup. I would have enjoyed a list of different applications, products, what not to use, what to use for different skin types, for looks, natural, dramatic. So that is my goal with this video, to help people who really want to start understanding makeup to understand it better. I hope my information is clear and concise. I did film this video earlier, and I will lift clips from that of me applying with a sponge and with a brush to demonstrate what I'm talking about. But ultimately, I felt like I wasn't doing that video well enough, and I wanted to redo it. So here we are. Before we get started, I want to start with a disclaimer, which I have on a sheet of paper. I have like 6 pages of notes for this series, and in the description box below of every video, I will have a set of products, things that I have researched, that other people seem to enjoy, things that I enjoy, things that YouTubers seem to enjoy, things that looked good to me. I researched the price, I researched what skin types it's good for, what look it's good for, and I compiled a list of products to provide to you in the description box below of every video. So for instance, in this video I have different types of foundations for different skin tones, skin types, looks, finishes, all of that. So let's start with the basics. To know what type of foundation to use, you need to know your skin type. Are you oily? Are you normal? Are you combination? Are you dry? Now the good way to test that is, I saw this on Instagram. Wash your face with just water and come back to your skin 2 hours later. If you are very shiny, you are oily. If you have dry spots, dry patches, flakes, you are dry. If you have oily spots in your T-zone, but dry patches somewhere else, be it on your nose, on your cheeks, you have combination skin. And if you have no complaints about your skin, you aren't overly oily, you don't have dry patches, you have normal skin. So now that you have that information, go ahead and test it, and you'll be able to see what type of foundation you should use. Now, what type of skin concern do you see with your skin? Do you see redness, sallowness? Do you have a lot of blemishes you would like to cover, or do you just have a few uneven spots you would like to help even out? Do you not want a ton of coverage, but you also want a little more coverage than just something super light? These are all things to think of when you are looking for a foundation, and I have a few recommendations for every type, whether it be sheer, medium, or full. Sheer foundations tend to be CC creams, which is a color correction, which helps correct redness and sallowness. BB creams, which help even out the skin overall but include a moisturizer or an SPF, a lot of skin benefits, or a tinted moisturizer, which is simply a moisturizer with a bit of skin tint in it. These are all great for sheer application, so if you really just want something to even out the skin, these are really great, but typically these products are for dry skin, as they tend to be very shiny. Oh my gosh, that was a spider. Typically, these products tend to be very shiny, which is not great for oily skin. You'll just look like a grease ball by the end of the day. If you are oily and you would like sheer application, a light tinted powder, think a setting powder with a little bit of color in it, or a very light coverage powder foundation, that will be great for you because it will still help keep the oil at bay, but it will even out your skin tone overall. If you would like a medium application, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can search specifically for foundations that have a medium coverage, or you can find a full coverage foundation and use little bits here and there. Another way to do this is to use a concealer in the areas that you need it and blend it out very well, a concealer that matches your skin tone and set overall with a powder. For full coverage foundation, you will have to seek these out. There are mattifying full coverage foundations, luminous full coverage foundations, satin full coverage foundations, and all of these terms can seem a little bit crazy. So let's just go over those terms really quickly so you're not overwhelmed and you kind of understand what I'm talking about as we continue to go through the series. A luminous foundation is one that is very shiny. This one is ideal for dry skin as it is typically very hydrating and helps camouflage dry patches. Matte foundations are ones that are, what am I trying to think of? When you think of matte, think of no shine. It absorbs shine and it doesn't reflect it back. This is ideal for oily skin as it helps combat oil and keep that from peeking through. A satin finish product, think of someone who has amazing skin. Think of their skin, that look, that just glow. That is a satin finish, usually it's called a natural finish. So those are the finishes we think of when we think of powders and foundations. So now that we've gone through sheer, medium, full, skin types, and names for foundations, let's talk about application. Now there are 3 typical ways you can apply a foundation. The most common way when you think of now in the beauty world is you think of a sponge. This is one you dampen and you wring out, and it's very fluffy and soft, and you use it to press into your skin. And I have a clip of me applying this where you dab on the foundation. This is great for shearing out full coverage foundations as the sponge will soak up some product. That is one downside. You do waste a little bit of product because it does soak up product, but it is great for pulling extra product off your face and for shearing out full coverage foundations when you want less coverage and you don't want to look so heavy. So this is great to press in. It's very easy to use, but you know, this is not typically what most people want to use if you're a beginner. But this is typically what I will use in my day-to-day. This is what I love the most. A brush is the second most common application of foundation. These come in several different types of densities. So let me lay it out for you. The less packed the brush is, so less tight the bristles are pushed together, the sheerer the coverage will be, and the tighter the bristles are packed together, the more heavy coverage the foundation will be. So you can seek out brushes based on what type of application you know you will use in day to day. What I do is I dot like so. And then what I do is I buff. So this is the buffing motion that when you hear YouTubers talking about it, this is buffing, moving in circular motions. You can also stipple on foundation by doing what we did with the sponge by tapping your face. This is good for people with dry skin, so you don't disturb the dry patches on your face. I, however, prefer to buff. It's a little bit quicker. They're great for water-based products. Sponges are not good for water-based products. It will soak up all the water and you will be left with no product. This is good because it evenly dispenses it. So think of max water weight. That one is primarily water. You do not want to use a sponge with that because the sponge soaks up all the water and you're left with no product. That's just a waste, as MAC is typically high-end, and it may not seem like a big deal, but in the long run you're wasting a lot of money. With a brush, this evenly disperses the product. I use a brush when I want very full coverage, and I find it works great. Together, these are 2 of my favorite types of applications, and I do have clips of both of these that I will include in the video. The last type of application is fingers. The best ways to use fingers for foundation application is with sheer coverage foundations, with tinted moisturizers, BB creams, CC creams, stuff that doesn't need a lot of heavy blending or application, stuff that just goes all over the face. You just take your fingers, apply a little bit into the tips of your fingers, rub together, and apply like any old moisturizer. Blend down the neck, which I will get to that, and around the nose, under the eyes, everywhere, and it will look very pretty. I know Vitalumiere Aqua foundation is good used that way. I learned that from Tati, but that's a very high-end foundation. But any type of sheer foundation does really well with fingers. Alright, when you're applying your foundation, whether with sponge, brush, or fingers, start with a little bit and build up as you go. You don't want to start out with too much at once and then be left with a ton on your face and it looks awful and you don't know what to do. You're left in it and you're just blending it down the neck, on the chest, everywhere, hands, I don't know. It's kind of like when you get too much hand sanitizer. You just don't know what to do with it. So always start with a little bit and then build it back up in the areas where you need extra coverage. I applied more in this area of my face right here where I get a lot of breakouts. And that is the best way to apply any foundation, be it full, medium, or sheer. Use extra products only in the areas you need them. Use them as concealer in a way, and you will be very successful in creating a very flawless face that isn't cakey. At the end of your foundation, always set with a powder. It doesn't matter what type of powder. I will be going over powders, setting powders after my concealer video, which is the next one on this list of Makeup 101. But you do not want to leave your foundation on its own. And the reason why is because without a powder on top, it's kind of slipping all over the place because it doesn't have anything to set it and make it dry. So when you do something, you touch your face, or you lean against your hand, or you rest on somebody's shoulder, or you're trying on clothes, the foundation starts to rub off, which is not good for people who don't have time to reapply stuff. You want it to stay in place. You're a nurse, you're a doctor, you have a long day, you don't have any time in your work day, school day, or whatever it may be, to reapply anything. The best way to keep your foundation on your face is to set it with a powder. Now there's powders for dry skin, oily skin, normal skin, and not every foundation is going to work for everyone. Sometimes dry skin can get away with using matte, and sometimes oily skin can get away with using luminous. But the one thing to keep in mind is when you are looking at reviewers on YouTube of a foundation, if you want to buy a particular foundation, find someone with your skin type on YouTube and watch their demo of it and see their comments. Because, you know, skin is such a personal thing. Everybody's skin is a little bit different, and foundation is one of those things that is very personal. Not everyone's going to like the same type of foundations, and everything is going to work a little bit differently for everybody. So, you know, find somebody who you know has similar skin to you and watch their thoughts so that you can make more informed purchases and you don't end up wasting your money on something that just, it exaggerates what you don't want to exaggerate or anything like that. Alright, that's about it for my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was informative, concise, and made sense, that it wasn't overwhelming. Please leave feedback in the comments below for ways I can improve these videos as I go on. Check out my description box for product ideas and recommendations. Some of them I have tried, some of them I haven't, and I tried to include a wide range, and I will try to organize that as best as possible so you can find specifically what you want to try. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!